Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's Ferrall coast to coast in the biggest way possible right here on a Wednesday. Of course, Super Bowl week. Scotty is down in New Orleans getting things going right now. Enormous day of guests from the Big Easy as we get ready for Eagles and Chiefs on Sunday. I know Jay Glazer is going to start things off momentarily any second now. Huge lineup of guests. Everybody is going to be in the mix there for them today. I think Scotty might have Jay ready to rock. So we will get down to Ferrall on Bourbon Street now. What's up, Scotty?
All right, good to see you, Mike. We'll be, crazy and chaotic today and flying off the cuff, but that's Gandhi. Jay Glazer, good to see you, my friend.
You too, brother. How you doing, man?
It's always great to see you every year at the Super Bowl. Listen, let's.
Did I meet you at my first Super Bowl? Was here in New Orleans in the '95 season.
I was here then. I was here before that even. I'm so old, I was at the 85 Bears blowout of the Patriots at the Superdome.
I think I was working for Sports Fan Radio Network.
Yes.
No. Doing stuff, right?
But I met you then, and then we became better friends through Big Daddy and his golf tournament in Strong Island at the Castle and everything else. Let's start with what's important, though. Your marriage, your wedding. Last year you were getting married, and then I saw you get married. Then I saw your honeymoon. Literally, it was like in living color in Italy, right? You were in Italy or somewhere, the Amalfi Coast, everything else. I saw the whole thing. You guys looked marvelous.
Thank you, man.
It was awesome. You looked so happy. I haven't seen you that happy since you broke a story.
No doubt about it. And that's the thing. Like she's changed my life.
She's beautiful.
She's changed my life, and she's an identical twin. The crazy part is she and her sister were the Doublemint twins.
I knew that.
The Tennyson twins. They filmed the commercial right behind the hotel that I'm staying in for this Super Bowl. So it's pretty cool.
In the French Quarter?
Yeah, no, it's right on the Riverwalk.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and but man, she's changed my life. And for me, we talk about mental health, right? And we're going to talk some here today. For all these years, like before her, right, I screwed up every relationship I ever had because you don't feel worthy of being loved. And,
right.
And the pain of when something's going to end is worse than it ending. So you make everything end because you have control over it. And because I've started to come out and talk about all my mental health stuff, and because I have all these new resources, it's the first time in my life I've not sabotage something. And even I've tried it at times.
Doesn't that feel fantastic and free?
Yeah, she won't let me, but she also...
I never seen you smile so much.
It's incredible. And I say to her, like, when I have my melt, and listen, I'm a work in progress. I got ADHD, bipolar, depression, anxiety. It's not like it goes away. I just know that I better...
manage it.
Right. But with her, she says to me, what do you need? And I'm like, make sure I know you're not going to go anywhere. So when I have my meltdowns, she'll go, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I got you.
How'd you guys fall in love?
I met through my assistant who did Price is Right with her. This girl, Nikki.
Great show.
Yeah, and so my girl did Price is Right, and they both did. My wife was the first black model for Fredericks of Hollywood. Her twin was the first ever black playmate.
I mean, she's smoking. Your wedding pictures were just ridiculous. If I were you, you guys look so beautiful there in Italy, I wouldn't have come home.
Oh, trust me.
I mean, I know you're pretty in L.A., but you looked way better in Italy.
I didn't want to come home.
I was so jealous.
My life.
So let's talk about Superness and what's happening with ADHD now.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that have it and that have struggled with it. I know my kids have dealt with it, and OCD and all these things, and they're all difficult to deal with, especially for kids and everything. You've teamed up with these people, and I'm guessing this new drug that they're
Kelbry, right? Yeah,
is making a difference.
It's huge. So here's the thing: I got diagnosed with ADHD all the way back in 1989, And I was told back then, growing up, I had a learning disability. I have a learning disability. I just didn't learn the way you teach. Clearly, I don't have a learning disability. I just can't sit through anything I'm not interested in for more than 2 minutes.
Me neither.
Right, we don't have the attention span. And I think ADHD is more prevalent now because our attention spans drop because of our cell phones. And
I clearly have it.
Absolutely.
I have it.
And I try and explain it to people. And when I got put on meds back in '89, the meds I got put on, which were stimulants, with my bipolar and depression, were not
working.
No, they were not good for me or anybody else. They were not safe for me and everybody else. It led to a lot of darkness. But because I talk so much about mental health now, this drug, Qelbree, got brought to me, and it's a non-stimulant.
When did that come out?
I signed with them, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. But I used it for 3 months before I ever said yes.
Right.
I actually take it at night. So not even more. So think about the other drugs out there. I take this at night.
Right.
And it definitely settles me down. But also, I try and I talk to sports teams now, and I try and describe ADHD. And what it is, I said, if you're in something where you're not interested, it's like you're drowning. And my only breath of fresh air in the past was to disrupt the class, to fidget, to draw, to not pay
to be
attention.
the class clown, to be a smart ass.
You think I want to get grounded every week? No, but I wasn't able.
I was grounded every week.
But I knew the ramifications.
I'm still grounded every week. I'm still in trouble every week.
But you know the ramifications that you can't stop it. I tell coaches, as much as you could, your players, you think they want to get fined? No, we're not able to. We're not capable.
Is this stuff
this stuff?
But is it making you
It's not enough.
No. Is it making you like doing this stuff more than reporting on the NFL? Because you seem so into it now that you're going to teams and you're speaking out and helping people and making a difference in people's lives. That way, let's face it, at the end of the day, football doesn't matter. It's cool. It's very entertaining. It's an escape. It's fun. It's cool. We all love it. The world loves it. America loves it. It's their favorite sport. But what you're doing here for people and for others, for their lives, for their mental health, is it getting you off more than being a reporter?
By far, because one of the things that helps me with my depression is being of service. And doing this is being of service, right? It helps. Plus also, having teams help me. Well, this spreads my team out. Right? It makes us teammates. And there's, I tell people, there are people, so on the way over here,
right?
Okay, I feared that I was going to struggle. I'm great in chaos. So I've also tried to figure out where these things help me. Anxiety, I'm great in the cage. I'm great on TV. I suck in calm, okay?
Right, I know you're a fighter, too.
ADHD, man, I can't sit in a 3-hour lecture, but I could do 6
Do you think you could have snapped my neck right now if you wanted to? Pretty much with all your training, that you could literally snap my neck.
I'm a man of love now.
You love me, but you could pick me up, superplex me, the people's elbow, and then snap my neck.
I probably could.
Let me ask you quickly. I've got 1 minute.
Real
Please.
So I'm on the way over here, and I was afraid I was going to struggle here. I FaceTime Michael Phelps because that's my battle buddy, and he's like, I got you. Anytime you're here today, you struggle, you FaceTime me. So that's what
He's been through a lot.
Yes, but by talking about it, you're saying, is it fulfilling?
You think he's got enough gold medals? You think he's got enough gold medals, that guy?
But what he's doing now for the rest of the world, too, is better than anything.
He's got more medals than all these football players. Is Mahomes going to get another one? Get another ring?
I know what he's done, but I don't know what he can't do.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles have the better roster, but that dude over there, it's like Brady. I can't tell. He wins. That's what he does.
Well, listen, I'm super happy for you that you're so happy and your marriage, you're feeling better, your mental health's better.
I'm smiling now.
I'm glad that you're doing this stuff with ADHD.
Never too late, man. I'm 50. It took me 54 years to really find love.
So
but I didn't screw up.
Tell Big Daddy, because he's helping me with a project. We need celebrities to help us with this. We're going to force you to do it, too. So tell him Ferrall was looking for him. I love you. It's good to see you, Jay. All the best, brother. My man.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials?
Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back at Radio Row in New Orleans, off Bourbon Street in the French Quarter for Super Bowl 59. We don't care about that because I got Joey Porter here. Now, listen, I told you I was going to save this for the show, right? I had to save it because I'm a season ticket holder of the Steelers, and I grew up in Pittsburgh. I went to high school, even though I'm older than you. I went to Mount Lebanon High School, and when I was there, they won 4 state WPIAL football championships. And I've been going to Steeler games for 55 years. I went to every Steeler Super Bowl, all 8 of them. My dad used to run U.S. Steel, and I got the luxury, I was lucky enough as a kid, to go to every Super Bowl with him, including Tulane Stadium, and I went to your Super Bowl at Ford Field in the snowstorm that everybody thought the refs were on the take for the Steelers, even though I know you enjoyed that day as much as I did, and I didn't care about the snowstorm. But I not only saw you win a ring, I've watched your son play almost every game of his career because I live in New York City, but I fly home to Pittsburgh for every game.
Right on.
How do you like them apples?
Man, awesome. Like a true Yinzer.
A real Yinzer, bro.
You haven't left your roots at all.
Not at all.
So you one of the people that I can actually have conversation with that understands the psychotic fan of a Steeler fan. Like, why we're different. Why playing in Pittsburgh means so much more and we're judged different than every other city.
So a guy said to me, argued with me that the 6 Super Bowl trophies don't matter anymore because they don't win them anymore. And I said, you have no idea what you're talking about. We hang our hats on those 6, and we live by a different standard in Pittsburgh. We want to win it every year. There's nothing short of excellence there. That's all they live for. You don't know what you're talking about. And he argued with me. I was like, are you kidding me? You must be stupid.
He's not from Pittsburgh.
Of course not.
So that's the whole thing, because if they were, they'll know how different it is with us, how the whole city shuts down when you lose a game.
I mean, everybody gets depressed.
Depressed all the way to Friday.
Babies aren't born.
Yeah.
No one goes to work. Schools are empty.
They don't understand how serious it is.
It's crazy.
So I'm like, man, are we spoiled? Yes. Are we going to win over 9 games every year? Yes. That's
of course.
Easy. But, like, is it good? Yeah, it's cool, but we probably had on championships, so it looks like we're not happy because we don't go to the Super Bowl. We're not happy. That's just reality.
What was it like? Obviously, you playing there and being a badass that you were, I saw you as a father, like, break down in joy over your son. It meant more to you. It seemed to me that he had made it and got drafted by the Steelers. You were crying, and you looked like a little puppy dog. I've never seen, because I was afraid of you. And now I'm like, oh, so he does have a heart. He is a real human being. He cries. You love your kid getting drafted by the Steelers more than playing for the Steelers. Am I wrong?
100% correct.
And he is such a talent. Oh my God, he's the best player on the team.
I wouldn't go that far.
Him and Pickens are the two biggest talents.
Well, the thing is, what makes you kind of excited about it is, it's like you have kids.
I got 2 kids, one in college at San Diego State and one a junior in high school. It costed me an arm and a leg, Joey.
You know your kids, right? So it's nothing better than watching your kids have success.
Right.
When they work for it.
Nothing better.
When they work for it, right? So watching him go through the journeys, the draft process was the harder part because like I told him, you don't know.
You don't know.
That's out of our control. But just to watch him have success and make it and represent the family the way he does, man, yeah, I'm excited every day he goes out there and puts that jersey on. Like, that's just it's true excitement. It's something I can't even explain because I'm not happy every time I'm out there watching them.
So I went to the game. I go to all of them, but I was just at that final Bengal game when they lost, and it was like 10 below with the wind chill.
Yeah.
And I was there with my son because he was home for Christmas break from San Diego State, and I knew you had coached out there in that conference at at Colorado State.
Yeah. Yeah,
did you like coaching in college and in the Mountain West? Did you like it? Because I know that you coached as well in the United League, right? Am I crazy with Hines?
Well, that was in the XFL.
XFL. I mean, I knew it was one of them.
Yeah. So I started with my first year was at Colorado State. I GA'd in 11. Then I got picked up by the Steelers in 12 or 13, and I was able to coach there, and then end up getting 1 year with the San Antonio Brahmas 3 years ago. But, man, coaching is awesome.
So you were on Tomlin's staff.
Yes.
Did you love it? Well, you did about 4 years at least.
Yes, loved it.
Did you love it?
Man, loved it. Had a great time. I got to coach. I had TJ, Bud. I had the outside linebackers. Thought we did a phenomenal job. Thought we was heading in the right direction. For somehow it didn't work out. But I love coaching. I love coaching them. Had a good time coaching them. I feel like that I taught them some stuff on how we play the game in Pittsburgh, the way we play it.
The way you play it.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and how to go about your business.
Right.
And I thought I did a good job. Thought they did a good job. It's just
I wish you were still coaching with them. What are you doing with GNC? That's where I go to get all my vitamins and all my
GNC
supplements.
Live Well, this is who I used when I was a player. I used GNC products.
Right.
Just one of the most reliable products that I can use, especially when they came out with you can't take this, you can't take that, you can't take this.
Right.
Well, when I was taking the GNC product, I never had to worry about it.
Never had a problem.
Man, GNC ain't like it's the stuff I'm
legit.
using. The stuff I'm using, creatine. It's going to be good for you. Multivitamins. I ain't trying to sneak nothing crazy.
I use them.
Multivitamins. And your pre-workout. That ain't do nothing but just get you going before you work out. All the stuff that.
How's your body after all the abuse?
So my body now is tough because now I'm going to my third neck surgery on March 4th.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? So
Jesus.
Football-wise, it took a toll.
Takes a toll.
But how I live with GNC Live Well, it's helped me put my body back together. The stuff I put in my body is to make me feel good. You know what I mean? I'm not putting stuff in my body like I'm about to go lift the gym because I'm not in that mode no more.
You used to be.
Yeah, but I'm not about to tackle nobody.
I used to be afraid of you. I remember I'd go in the locker room and interview you, and I was scared to death of you. But when I was growing up, Lambert was my hero. And he was a badass. Hey, listen, it's a pleasure to meet you. I loved watching you play football. I'm so happy for you and your son. I'm a huge fan of your sons. I'm a huge fan of the Steelers. Screw all these teams. I don't even want to talk about the Eagles and the Chiefs. Screw both of them. I hope they get diarrhea on Saturday.
Man.
I only root for the Steelers, Joey.
You're a PA guy. As you said.
but don't tell anybody. I'm sick of coming here every year and talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Look, remember a few years ago we were here, people saying, Andy Reid's going to retire. I'm like, no way. When you're riding Seabiscuit, Secretariat, when you're riding a horse that you know can win, who would jump off that?
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I have no idea how to categorize what Mavericks GM Nico Harrison pulled off, Joe. All I know is that he shipped off Luka Doncic without telling Luka about it.
If you thought conditioning was a problem for Luka, wait till you get a load of Anthony Davis tripping over air and then missing 40 games because he's like Glass Joe's.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Who we pulling for? Who we looking to win this game?
I picked Buffalo over Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, and I was wrong. I'm picking Philly. Philly has the better roster, but Kansas City just knows how to win, especially one-score games. But I think Saquon, like he's been the difference all year, Kansas City has to prove to me they can stop him.
Absolutely.
They can stop him, stop that O-line, and not have Jalen have to throw it 40 times.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back in Nolans at Radio Row, and we got Brayden Narveson here, and he's a kicker in the NFL. He's a free agent right now. He kicked with the Packers and the Titans this season.
Correct.
So, you did most of it in Green Bay, and then just like one game in Smashville, right?
Correct. Yep, one game.
Did you like Smashville better than Green Bay in terms of, like, Nashville's cool, man? It's like the East Coast Vegas.
No, Nashville's awesome. I mean, there's a lot to do in Nashville.
I mean, there are a lot of pretty girls there and great music, good food. Like I've done NHL play-by-play, so I called games at that Bridgestone Arena. And I used to go in there and I'd hit cigar bars, country bars. I mean, I thought I was going to end up with like 10 women there at once. Like my own team. Like 10 women I'd have, and I'd be the 11th. I'd have my own NFL team. 10 hot chicks that play country music and Ferrall. Like, there's a possibility. You know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah,
You've been there.
People out there.
You were there for one game and you fell in love.
Yep.
So let's talk about our shoes. Now, I got these New Balance kicks on, and you got to admit, those are fresh.
Those are fresh.
They really are fresh.
Fire.
My daughter got me those for Christmas, but yours are like super ultra fresh. Like, those are some serious kicks. Now, I think that it's probably because you're a kicker that you have the stones to have the coolest shoes in the entire convention center at Radio Row. Like, there's 100,000 people in here, and you have the coolest shoes I've seen. Now, I went to media night with the Eagles and Chiefs. I saw a couple of, Jawan Carter, he had, I think that's his name. Is that his name, Mafia? I think it is. I don't care. He had cool shoes. And I had the guy, Davis, the defensive tackle of the Eagles. He had cool shoes. But your shoes are cooler. What are those?
Well, I appreciate it. So when my wife and I, when we bought our house in Green Bay, these were actually a gift. So they've got my pets painted on the side.
A cat and a dog. What kind of dog is that? A poodle?
Golden doodle. And
a doodle.
And then a border collie and my other cat.
Oh, you got 2 dogs and 2 cats?
I do.
I have a 120-pound retriever that is the coolest dog in the world, nicest dog in the world. But if you F with me, it will bite your arm off. It will attack.
Yeah.
Anyone that messes with my family or my house is dead unless they have like a sawed-off shotgun.
Hey, it's not a bad thing.
I love the fact that my dog, like if I go out to dinner, I don't even have to set the alarm.
No, the dog's there.
I live in New York City. People get robbed at like breakfast, but no one's coming near my. Everyone that comes to my house to deliver something is afraid of my house.
You're right.
They just leave it on the step and run because they hear the dog, and the dog is vicious. Meanwhile,
quick picture and gone.
But you have 4 animals, so they all love you, and they're like kids.
Oh yeah, no, they are.
They're the greatest.
The border collie's like that for my wife. Anybody goes around my wife or wants to mess around, like
he doesn't even. Is it a boy or a girl? The border collie, a boy. She loves the dog more than you.
Probably does.
And the dog is in love with her and probably hates you.
Yeah,
he just pretends like he likes you because you feed him.
You're not wrong.
So did you because I was on the air in Green Bay. So my show's on TV and radio. So when I was on radio, I've been doing this 41 years. I could be your dad. I'm that old. I'm just cool. And I look cool, don't I? But I was on there, and people love me in Green Bay. Those people there are so nice.
They are.
They're so nice that it's not even cool. Like, they're like so friendly and nice. They're like,
come in. Here's
like,
a beer, wings.
Dinner, wings, sandwich.
Yep.
They'll mow your yard if you're out of town.
Yep.
Like, you're on vacation. Your neighbor will do it for you.
Yeah.
No one in New York does anything for anybody.
Right.
Just everyone's a jerk. But in Green Bay, they're nice.
My wife is she's from Wisconsin, so that was a whole.
Oh, so was she sad when you left there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She blamed you.
She probably did. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Are you trying to hook back up with them?
I mean, whatever happens. Would love to go back for sure.
So let's go through. I want to go through the litany of your college days. You were in Ames.
I was.
That was your main college?
No, that was my first college. My main one, I was at Western Kentucky and
the Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers.
And you were in Raleigh?
I was.
I went to Raleigh to call a hockey game, and they went out drinking or something, and I was in the woods, and I was like, this is hell. This is hell here. I'm not having fun. I'll drink alone, like George Thorogood. I drink alone. Yeah, with nobody else. That's what I felt like in Raleigh. I didn't like Raleigh. If you liked it, screw you. But how about you made 92% of your kicks at Western Kentucky and 78% in your career. It's been unbelievable. But so far in the NFL, you're loving life, right? And you'll get another gig easy, right? Are you having fun at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, no, I am. I flew in last night and super excited to be here on Radio Row. It's been, this place is a zoo.
Listen, I'm glad that you have 4 animals and that you have cats and dogs. Do they get along?
They do. They do.
I had cats before and they all bit me. I don't like cats, but I'm glad you do. Brayden, it's good to meet you, brother. My man.
Absolutely.
Don't tell anybody. I'm sick of coming here every year and talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Look, remember a few years ago we were here, people saying, Andy Reid's going to retire. I'm like, no way. When you're riding Seabiscuit, Secretariat, when you're riding a horse that you know can win, who would jump off that?
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I have no idea how to categorize what Mavericks GM Nico Harrison pulled off, Joe. All I know is that he shipped off Luka Doncic without telling Luka about it.
If you thought conditioning was a problem for Luka, wait till you get a load of Anthony Davis tripping over air and then missing 40 games because he's like Glass Joe's.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Who we pulling for? Who we looking to win this game?
I picked Buffalo over Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, and I was wrong. I'm picking Philly. Philly has the better roster, but Kansas City just knows how to win, especially one-score games. But I think Saquon, like he's been the difference all year, Kansas City has to prove to me they can stop him.
Absolutely.
They can stop him, stop that O-line, and not have Jalen have to throw it 40 times.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back at Radio Row in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, and we go back to New York with Carver High styling in the Big Apple.
Yeah, so I guess hello. Haven't gotten to say hi to you yet today. So how's
It's
it going
ridiculous.
over there? Everybody's
It's unfair.
I guess Wednesday's usually the day right out there where it starts to get a little busy in the area. So yes, that does happen there. How was How was the meal?
Well,
I didn't get the meal report for last night. I know you didn't go to the media party. Did you get a good meal?
I did actually not. You're going to be disappointed in me, but you know that I've had these arguments with Coach Young before, that I'm a huge fan of Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich. It's the best spicy chicken sandwich in the world, and I went to the original Popeyes here down in the French Quarter, which is like legendary. This place, I mean, you have never seen anything like it. You go in, this place is packed, and they have computer stalls set up. There's so many people ordering chicken that they have computer stalls set up. So when you walk in, there's like 8 of them, 4 on each side, and you're like at the self-checkout at the grocery store. You got to go up to one of them and you make your order. Then you go sit. They have like a waiting area where you sit and wait. And I mean to tell you, they're cooking up chicken like nobody's business, and it smells so good in this place that you're like, you could literally, I think, die there. You could literally just die right there smelling it. It smells so good. So I got 2 jumbo spicy chicken sandwiches. As you know, I have a gambling problem, so I went back. I bet a bunch of money on St. John's. I promised Luke, I am your father, that I was going to bet on him, and I did. And then I ate my chicken sandwiches, and I drank about 7 double rums, and I watched St. John's. And then I watched a couple more basketball games, and then I went to bed. So I don't go to media parties because, as you know, I don't like people in the media. I am not a media person. You can call me whatever you want, a dork, a tool, a loser, a femme, whatever you want. I am not like, the loser media, like the cattle herd the other night. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to go to parties with them. I am too cool to hang out with media types. Now listen, they had free drinks and free food. I don't need your free drinks or free food. I'd rather pay for my booze and my food and drink alone and eat alone. As you know, I would have gone to Fogo de Chao and eaten Brazilian by myself and talked to myself. I would have had a conversation by myself at dinner before I'd go to a media party. I have never gone to the media party. I have gone to the NFL commissioner's party. I have gone to the, my friend, the super agent in California, Lee Steinberg. I've gone to Steinberg's party before at the Super Bowl, but I never go to the media party. What a bunch of losers. And I mean it. You can quote me on that. Tell everybody I said so. And I did not go. But I did say earlier to, I think it was Joey Porter, that I wanted to send you a 12-pack of Guinness today for having to sit through the monotony and the painfulness of me interviewing 50 different people and you having to sit there, I think is highly unfortunate. And I think that you and Luke should be allowed to drink Guinness beer for the entire show. That was the referendum, which I tried to have passed locally with the authorities.
Well, I mean, it could be happening and nobody would know. So that's kind of where we're at this point. So it could be happening and nobody has any idea, which is okay.
That's my boy.
The one that the best one that I've been to at one of those Super Bowls was I went to the that Taste of the NFL where they have a chef from every city and they have all that. That was pretty cool when I went.
Well,
to
that sounds intriguing.
Yeah, they have like a Hall of Fame player from every team, like handing out like whatever it is. Like Kansas City, it was like quail, and they had others. Like every city had different spots.
Did they have Jan Stenerud passing out quail?
Yes, Jan Stenerud passing out quail at the Taste of the NFL.
Glenn Dawson.
There. Did you stay up and watch any of the Laker game late night? Did you catch any of the Lakers? You did.
Yes, they killed them, and LeBron went off as usual, and Bronny was sitting next to Luka. I was intrigued by all of that. As you know, I like watching all the games. Like, I had so much more fun in my basketball shorts, in my flip-flops, no shirt on, making calls back to 34C, talking dirty to her on the phone. I had the rum flowing. By the way, Carver High, I've run out of rum, so I'm going to have to go back for a second bottle of rum at the liquor store next to the hotel, which is convenient. They have a liquor store literally right next door. They set that up purposely, SportsGrid, for me, thinking ahead. Nice move by Cardano and company to think ahead, to be able to have a localized positioning strategy for me to get Popeyes and liquor within 20 steps. I mean, that is fantastic. That I was 20 steps to a Popeyes. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. It was sexual for me. Like, so 34C said to me, well, where'd you go to dinner? And I go, I took a picture. I was in Popeyes, and I took the picture. I may post the picture. I'm going to post it on Twitter and on X in 5 minutes. I'm going to do it so everyone can see that I was there. And this was the biggest Popeyes I've ever been in my life, and computerized. And I can eat, literally, it was so good. I'm considering going back to the well tonight and doing it again. Like that. Wow. Because I've eaten at, I've eaten at expensive restaurants. I saw my friend JT the Brick. I said, you want to go have dinner? He said, I can't tonight. So there goes the dinner. I'm not walking around this place looking for people to go to dinner with. It's either somebody I know, somebody I like JT or whatever, or somebody like you I'd go to dinner with, Mafia, whoever it is. I'll go to dinner, or like there's a place in my hotel. They got oysters like coming out their ears and great like Creole food. I could eat there, but I prefer, as you know, and you know, Coach Young's soft. Like he likes the. What is the place? Chick-fil-A? He's a Chick-fil-A femme. Like, you know, girls eat at Chick-fil-A. I'm a man. I eat it at Popeyes like a man. And then when I heard they were going bankrupt, it was one of the worst travesties in American history. Like, it was, I think they reorganized and they kept several of them open, including some in New York City that I can go to. Listen, their wings as well, and their chicken strips. Remember I told you I went to the 03 World Series with the CEO of Popeye's Chicken, who's a guy that lives in Miami. And I ate 700 million chicken strips over that, that series, and with all the different sauce dips. I mean, these people, the Cajun, Louisiana, the Bayou, the Popeye, the whole thing, it's just a better way of life, Carver High. I'm always looking for, you to have a better way of life.
That really is what it's all about. But listen, here's what you need to do for me tonight. You can't go back to the Popeyes 2 nights in a row. There's a spot. I'll find it. I'm going to text it to you. It's got to be right where you're staying. It's like a nice, small little spot. You sit at the bar. They got the best grilled oysters when they put the Parmesan on them down there. Like, you got the grilled oysters. All right. Sit right down there. I mean, that's the spot.
Send me that. Send me that.
You got to hit that up.
I'll go.
Find it for
so
you.
I'll tell you what.
I'll find the place.
You send me that. And then I will post a picture of me at the Popeyes last night.
Got to get the Popeyes in. All right, later on, when we have some free time again later, I will play you some of LeBron after the game, because it's the first time we got to hear LeBron talk about the trade, the big Luka trade. So we'll give you some LeBron. And then I've even got Kyrie. I'm sure you saw this on your phone. Kyrie looked like he was, you talk about a guy who's still not over it. It's been like 3 days, and Kyrie's still walking around like basically he lost his dog. It looking absolutely miserable that Luka's not on the map.
His dog is here. There's like 1,000 cop dogs here. I had one of them sniff my underwear. It was unbelievable. I drew him in. I think I had gas from last night.
So I will give you all of that when we have some more free time, either at the end of this hour or sometime in the next hour. We'll slide it.
I think it's awkward. I think it's awkward, the stand-up camera that I'm sitting and looking into the stand-up camera. But it is awkward. It makes me feel short. As you know, Carver High, I am not fond of short people.
I know.
There's your boy Foster's Lager. I just saw him walk by.
My mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so here we are at the Radio Row, and I've finally broken free of my chains, otherwise known as the director's chair. I am so happy when I am able to move around and about. Don't I look fantastic down here, Carver High, on Bourbon Street, standing up on the camera? This is a whole new world for us at SportsGrid. With Ferrall, I'm almost like a game show host here, I said yesterday, and I feel really excited about it that I'm able to stand and do the show, even though people stand behind me, not realizing that they're on TV, and these things happen as well. We do have Chris Myers here, so we're going to have Chris. You know what we need to do? We need to set Chris up. That's Chris right there. All right, Mike, take it away, buddy, and we're gonna have Chris sit down, and then we'll get to business.
We'll get Chris set up, and I will. I've actually just efforted the place for those oysters later, so I'm gonna text that to you now as we get going. So Chris Myers is gonna join Scotty in a moment, and we will get to that later on. I was gonna do it now. We'll do it later. We'll do the LeBron stuff. We'll do the Kyrie Irving stuff as well, and of course, we do have day 3 of our Super Bowl props. 5 props a day this entire week. We will do our set of 5 later on here as we get going. And I know it's Wednesday. Scotty's at the Super Bowl. It's still a Golf Wednesday at some point today. I will have all the picks, the outrights, the placements, the first-round leaders, everything for the People's Open, the Waste Management Open that we will get things going with later on today. So I know we had Stewie yesterday. We will get the Waste Management Open picks later on. We're back to Scotty now down in New Orleans with Chris Myers.
Obviously, I feel that the Bourbon Street Open in Scottsdale is certainly one of the most important things that we do today so that we can all make a lot of money with your golf picks, Carver High. As I've said, it's one of the great it's the American way. I think it really is the American way. Chris Myers is here from Fox Sports. Chris, it's great to see you. It's been a long time, buddy. I got to tell you.
Raspy voice, I love that. It's very familiar, very natural.
We've been doing it a long time. You know, we have a lot in common. I think you started your sportscasting career at 16.
Yes.
I started mine at 18. Mine was a little different than yours, though. At 18, I was being yelled at and cussed at by Bob Knight.
Wow.
For 5 straight years of abuse. And then I became friends with him for 40 years. So I guess it ended up working out until he passed.
Yeah.
So I started very young. I've been doing it 41 years. The second thing we have in common was that when you reported on the Atlanta bombing at the Olympics, I was doing my show on Westwood One in 250 markets from the Global Village live. And when the bomb went off, everyone ran for their lives. My producers and I stole 300 cans of Budweiser from the Budweiser tent, and we got them into bags, took them back to the media hotel where we were staying right on the edge of Atlanta, and we had free beer for 2 weeks.
But I stayed on the air.
You stayed on the air.
With ESPN to report.
I was committing crimes.
Well, they told me to leave and evacuate, and I remember telling the guy we were in that Chamber of Commerce building,
right.
overlooked the Olympic, and he said, you guys got to evacuate. I said, well, the other guy said we could stay, and he's like, okay. Then he comes back an hour later. He says, there is no other guy. You got to get out. So we took the camera and roamed the streets. Remember, at the time, we thought there might be another bomb or terrorism, so there was a lot of unknown through the night. But, yeah, that's funny, too, about, boy, if you could handle Bob Knight at a young age through the years, because he yelled at me years later when I was doing local TV, and Dale Brown and LSU faced his team. And the real thing with Dale.
I was at that game.
So, yeah. Oh, you were with the old.
I was at the game, and then they beat him. Ricky Callaway hit the winning shot.
Yes.
And then they went to Bourbon Street, and Keith Smart hit the winning shot.
Right.
And it was 1987 at the Superdome.
Yeah.
Right here.
It all comes back to.
It all comes back to Nollins.
Which, by the way, I just have a book that came out called That Deserves a Wow that encompasses a lot of these stories from ESPN to Fox and how I began in radio. My first interview, sports director, I was just a kid running the board. He said, grab your tape recorder. Muhammad Ali has a press conference down at the Miami Beach Blue Hotel.
You were a Miami kid.
Yeah, so I left for my humanities class and went in there and asked, and it was Ali saying, you're not as dumb as you look, kid. It was late 70s and had long
What
hair.
a thrill.
It was, that was after you interview him. You
so listen, I'm a Miami kid too. Like I lived in Boca, and I've been going to Boca for 59 years, and I did QAM. I was on QAM for like 30 years.
That was such a great station to grow up when I was
I'm a Canes fan for life. I love the Canes, even though I went to Indiana. I'm a Canes fan. I love Miami Hurricane football.
Yeah.
When you grew up there, do you like the Canes? Are you a Canes fan to this day?
Yeah, I still root for them, just like I have a soft spot for the Dolphins.
Right.
I've since moved on and moved. I mean, that was.
You've been in L.A. forever, no?
Yeah, 25 years in L.A., so the first 20 years of my life were down in Miami and South Florida. I actually worked here locally in TV for 5 years.
Did you like Miami better than Los Angeles? Like, they're so different. One's like Cuba and hot and humid. Like, it's 100 degrees like an armpit in the summer. And then L.A., I lived in Huntington Beach for 12 years because the Westwood One show I did in Culver City.
Yeah. We go there. Here's what I miss growing up in Florida. And first of all, having sun and water are important to me.
Right.
Because I did some time.
You look fantastic, too, by the way.
With ESPN. But you have the mountains, and you have a little bit more variety in California, whereas Miami, although you can swim year-round in the ocean, it's just kind of flat. So but it was great. It was a different time. I loved growing up there. It's become so big. I mean, all cities have grown in size. So
what about, what did the fires mean to you? Because they were so devastating.
Yeah,
did it touch your life in some capacity?
Thank you for that. We were on standby to evacuate. We were kind of in the Calabasas area.
I know it.
And I know people from the Palisades, so thankfully, and we had some people at Fox who we work with who actually lost their homes. They were safe. But my God, the way that spread, and we've had a few fires over the years where we've had to, handle, but nothing with this kind of devastation. If you drove down the Pacific Coast Highway, I'm sure you've seen the pictures, you wouldn't recognize the homes.
It looked like a war zone.
Yeah, it looked like a nuclear.
It looked like it was, Lahaina, and I've been there many times. I used to go to Maui a lot. And remember the scene after that? This was 1,000 times worse than that.
Yes.
It really was.
It was. The amount of people that can. And then there's idiots starting fires. I get the.
Oh, I know.
But there's still guys.
What is wrong
catching them on the
with
side of the road. I don't know if it's
it's stupidity
or just anger or hatred, but it's just
so don't go anywhere yet, Chris, because you just sat down, and I want to talk to you about Revive and everything that you got going on, and I also want to ask you a couple questions about your brilliant career calling sports. You've talked about the things, the peripheral and Muhammad Ali and everything, but really in Bristol, but you really have had a brilliant career, and I want to talk to you about it at least for a couple minutes. So don't go anywhere.
I'll stay with you.
my mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Here we go, and Mahomes got the ball late because
that's what we saw with the Bills last week.
I think they could not jump that emotional or mental hurdle to get over beating the Chiefs. To be honest with you, I thought going into the game, the Bills were the better team, but the Chiefs would win because they had experience in those spots. They had been there, and they had won. And if you close in the fourth quarter, it becomes here. Not so much.
But that's the whole thing, isn't it, Mike? That normally when you're playing a championship team, like the number one team and, the powerhouse, you would take that. If they said, all right, it's going to be close with 5 minutes left, we'll take that. With Kansas City, you're in their spider web. You have to punch them in the mouth, man. You know what I mean? When Tampa Bay beat them, it wasn't a game. They punch him in the mouth early. They
had Mahomes
him.
running for his life.
Yeah, the Kansas City didn't.
Offensive line.
Yeah, a lot of injuries, and they weren't the same. That's not the same KC team now. But if it is a close game, it is almost certain death. I mean, it's 17 in a row, one-score wins for these guys.
The other thing, too, is how the Chiefs are going to block, who I think is the best defensive tackle in pro football, in Jalen Carter. Okay, a lot of people say Chris Jones. Man, a lot of times the Chiefs take Chris Jones out in obvious running situations. Yeah. He wants to rush the quarterback. Jalen Carter's in there like 98% of the time. He plays the run well, and he also can push that inside pocket. Now, does he play hard every snap? Maybe not. But when he's up to it, he can dominate a football game. The Chiefs have had trouble blocking those interior.
Because they're the ones.
You can even order it through there and make payments on it. I saw. I'm seeing $29 a month, 90-day no risk.
How you work? So people who haven't done it or gone to the gym, these are leg sleeves. You slide them on. You set, and this is the machine in here, right here.
And then they start pumping and pulsating your legs.
And it's pain recovery, and it's fast, and it's natural, and it's been approved by the FDA. So all the technology, it's the latest technology.
So when you wear it. Yeah. And you're coming off of that, and you go play pickleball the next day after you've done this. You're feeling 34.
Yes, you're revived.
And you and I are not 34.
No, and it also helped me with my back pain from traveling flights cross country, doing NFL games, NASCAR races. Even without trying to play pickleball or half court basketball. But 20 minutes, and it's good to do it like for a few nights in a row. But you can set the amount of pressure that you want
that you can handle.
And that you can handle. And I like cranking it up because it it fills up. You know, it fills up and then it eases down. It's almost like getting a massage.
You know, I have vehicles that do that with the massaging while you're driving. You know, the rich people cars.
Yeah. but this is your personal one as opposed to having to wait for it at the gym, and you never have to worry about.
I hate waiting at the gym. You know what else they have? They have these beds. Have you seen the water beds that shoot the water 100 miles an hour, the heated water in your back, and it goes up and down from your neck to your feet. That's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then you don't get in trouble like Deshaun Watson. You just don't go to a massage parlor. You just go to the gym and do it. And then I don't have like 30 women suing me. You know what I mean? Because these women come after Ferrall every turn. So,
but it is recovery. It's handling pain, but it also feels good, and it's easy.
That's the greatest thing ever. If your handler doesn't give me one of these, I swear to God, I'm going to have some friends of mine from New York visit him, and they're not nice people. They're Italian.
It's an American company, Wisconsin. They
hang out at fisheries eating sandwiches in the 100-degree heat, and they smoke cigars, and they wear pinky rings. You don't like these people, trust me.
Well, thanks for mentioning.
So listen,
at least you're staying at
of all your great play-by-play, you've done it all. Now, we talked Olympics. I've been to 4 of them. I think it's pretty cool. The Olympics. I love doing the Olympics, but the NFL play-by-play, the NASCAR play-by-play, the Final Four play-by-play. You've done every sport. Which one's your favorite?
I have to say, not just because we're here. I have a slogan that I started when I was younger in the business. Every night's the Super Bowl. So that way I'd be fired up whether I was covering a high school game.
Didn't matter what you were doing.
Right, or a big football. And I finally I've covered 4 of the Fox broadcasts, 6 Super Bowls on the field, including Mahomes and Reed, their first win of the when they beat the 49ers. And then also when Tom Brady came back, I've done 3 or 4 of his Super Bowls when he was playing, when he came back against the Atlanta Falcons. So the Super Bowl is the top, and this is why we're here, and that's why it's the event. Not to disparage any other sport, because the World Series I covered when the Red Sox were down 0-3. I was the field reporter and came back against the Yankees. So
that was the worst thing that's ever happened to America.
So you're obviously a Yankee fan.
That was worse than Pearl Harbor. It was worse than Pearl Harbor. The Yankees losing 4 straight to the Red Sox. I named my dog Boston. That's because I hate Boston so much.
You had trouble last year when Aaron Judge dropped the ball to the Dodgers.
I blame that the fascists. I blame that on communism. Anyway, Chris, it's great to see you. Congratulations on your brilliant career.
Yes.
It's fun to run into you again.
I want to talk to you anytime.
Get revived. Go to Mueller. Go to the website. Go to Walmart. You can order it.
Right. MuellerRevive.com.
I think you'll like it. I'm going to steal this one from Chris. I'm going to hit him over the head after this interview.
All right, Scott, it's great seeing you. Keep up the good work. Keep going strong.
To solve all this tush-push and 4th down malarkey that goes on with the officials, here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass on the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.